Welcome. In this playthrough Marvel Champions a card game, we have Doctor Strange taking on Ultron in expert mode. It's down at the table for the villain setup. We've got the main scheme. We're using Ultron 2 and 3 for expert mode. We've got all those encounter sets along with under attack. For setup, put the Ultron drones environment in play, then shuffle the encounter deck. So here we've got each face-down drone minion engaged with the player has a scheme of 1, attack of 1, and base hit points of 1. It's a force response. After a face-down drone minion is defeated, place that card in its owner's discard pile. Then we'll go ahead and shuffle our encounter stack. Then on the other side here, we've got a threshold of 3. When revealed, each player puts the top card of their deck into play face down, engaged with them as a drone minion. So go ahead and shuffle our hero deck. So I'm using aggression. At the end of the video, we'll go over deck construction for this. But our first minion is one of our special cards. Then Ultron, it's got a scheme of 2, attack of 2, with a forced interrupt. When Ultron attacks you, put the top card of your deck into play face down, engaged with you as a drone minion. Till the end of this attack, Ultron gets +1 attack for each drone minion engaged with you, and he's got 22 health. Then for Stephen Strange, we've got a recovery of 3. He begins the game with the invocation deck, which we'll shuffle up here shortly. Natural talent. It's an action. Discard the top card of the invocation deck. Hand size of 6, hit points of 10. Hero mode, thwart of 2, attack of 1, defense of 2, spell mastery. It's an action. Exhaust Doctor Strange and pay the cost of the top card of the invocation deck. Resolve the special ability on that card. A hand size of 5 here. So we've got 5 cards in this. A little tough to shuffle, but I'll do the best I can. And we will start with the Crimson Bands on top. Special is stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Place this card in the invocation deck discard pile. Then we'll get 6 cards. Starting with Tigra, Master of the Mystic Arts. Get over here. Cloak of Levitation, Relentless Assault, and Magical Enhancements. So I'm going to pitch these 3. Getting Magical Blast, Astral Projection, and Valkyrie. So we are set up to go. We'll go ahead and flip over. We'll put our Cloak of Levitation in play. Then we'll exhaust using this, cost of 2. Can't believe I'm doing it, but we're playing the master of that as a resource. Stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Down to 15. We've got the 7 rings left, so give up to 3 characters each a tough status card. Then we were ready, and attack for 1. And end our turn. I'm going to keep Tigra, getting 4 more cards. Place a threat. Goes to attack, remove stunned. Then get our encounter card. Base of AI, when revealed, each player discards the top 3 cards of their deck. So we're losing Genius, Helicarrier, and Melee. That gets 3 threat. We're going to bring Tigra into play for 3. After she attacks and defeats a minion, we'll heal 1 damage from her. So we're going to go ahead and have her thwart for 1. Taking a damage. Then Doctor Strange is going to thwart for 2. Get rid of the AI. Then we'll ready him. Then use a spell mastery. Paying a resource here. Give up to 3 characters each a tough status card. Then we're ready. Well, we'll see what we've got here. Went to a tomb, special, draw 3 cards. We'll go ahead and keep Mockingbird in hand, drawing 4 more. Get a threat. He's going to attack, which brings out a minion. Doctor Strange is taking it, so it's base 1, 2, 3. Just 3 damage coming in, which gets rid of his toughness. And then that will attack for 1, taking us down to 9. And an encounter card. That's not good. Shadow of the Past. So we're going to find our Nemesis here. When revealed, set aside our Nemesis minion, put him play Engage with us. Put in the side scheme, and then shuffle the rest of those into the encounter stack. So we've got Mordo, Scheme of 2, Attack of 2, 5 health, Forced Interrupt. When he attacks you, discard the top card of your deck, and then depending on what it is, he's going to do different things. And we've got the Open the Dark Dimension. When revealed, place the top card of the Invocation deck face down under the scheme. And when defeated, shuffle the Invocation card under here into the Invocation deck. That sucked. So the new one up here is Images of Icon. And we'll shuffle these 3 into the Encounter deck. Well, needless to say, that changes things. Tigra will attack this little guy, getting our Sorcerer Supreme card back. We'll kick her ability off to heal, and then take the toughness off. Then we're going to play Relentless Assault. Hero action, deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid for this using that resource, it gains overkill. But 5 is just going to be what it takes to get rid of the Baron. Then we're going to put in Enhanced Physique with these 2. Comes in with 3 counters on it. It's a hero resource. Exhaust Physique, remove a physical counter from it and generate a physical resource. Then we're going to use Doctor Strange to go use this and use that to pay for it. Confusing the Villain. And remove 4 threat from a scheme. Alright, so when defeated, we shuffle this back into our deck. So it's just 2 cards here, which is really hard to shuffle. So I've lost count now. And on top, we're going to have the Winds of Ultron. Going to ready the Doctor, and then thwart for 2. And go ahead and end our turn, drawing 5. So we get a threat. Ultron's going to attack. So we get a friend out there. We will go ahead and, well, yeah, we'll defend. So base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage coming in. So we block 2, take 3 down to 6, then get hit for 1. Then our encounter card. Reveal, discard an upgrade or support you control. No cards were discarded this way. This card gains Surge. Not cool. So there goes our Enhanced Physique. For our turn, we are going to ready there. Tiger's going to take care of Nick Fury. Nothing to heal. Take the damage. Then we'll put in the Eye of Agamotto. Exhaust this to generate a wild resource. Then we're going to use the Master of Mystic Arts, using that to pay for it. It's a hero action. Pay the printed cost of the top card of the Invocation deck, resolve it, and put it back on top. So we're going to draw 3 cards, and it's going to stay there. Then we'll use him to use the ability again to draw 3 more cards. And then we've got the Vapors on top. Allows us to choose a status card in play and replace that status card with a different one. So we're going to do a Magic Blast using these 3. So hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy, discard the top card of your deck, and depending on what that is, more things will happen. So we're taking him down to 10. Discarding a mental resource, so we're going to confuse the enemy, but he's already confused, which is quite confusing. Then we're going to put in downtime, giving us +2 recovery. Flip over, use our ability to discard that. And see what we get back on top here. It's going to be the winds. So end our turn. We'll draw 5 more, keeping that. So Protective Ward, Relentless Assault, get over here, Magical Enhancements, and Enhance Physique. Villain phase, we get a threat. He goes to scheme, but he's confused. Then we're getting an Advanced Ultron Drone. So it's got 4 health, scheme of 1, attack of 1, guard ability, forced interrupt. When he is defeated, the engaged player puts the top card of their deck into play face down, engage with him as a drone minion. And back to us. We're going to recover for 5. Then go ahead and flip over and ready. Then exhaust to draw 3 cards. So we've got the Hulk, Sanctum Sanctorum, and Hercules, which decks us. So we're going to get an encounter card and shuffle. I'll put in another Enhanced Physique here. Getting 3 counters. Then play Relentless Assault, using that along with one of these to deal 5 damage to a minion. If you paid for this using a physical resource, his attack gains overkill, which we did. So he's going to block up 4. 1 breaks through, down to 9. And because of his ability, we get a friend out, which Tigra is going to attack to defeat. She'll heal and gain a damage. Then we're going to put Endurance in play, giving us +3 hit points. Using this to pay for it. Then the Hulk is going to walk in, bringing us our Sanctum. So that's as an alter ego action. Exhaust this, shuffle a spell card from your discard pile into your deck, and draw a card. And we will end our turn, drawing up to 5, keeping that, so 4 more. So we've got the Sorcerer Supreme, Relentless Assault, Valkyrie, and Master of the Mystic Arts. And our top card is the Crimson Bands. Probably should have flipped that earlier. I would have played that differently. All right, enemy phase. Getting our 3rd threat over there. So we're done with that. Assault on no red. When revealed, each player puts the top card of their deck into play face down, engage with them as a drone minion. Then threshold of 10. Force response. After placing threat here during step 1 of the villain phase, each player must choose to either place 2 threat here or put the top card of your deck into play face down, engage with them as a drone minion. So then Ultron's going to attack. Brings out a drone. We will defend. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 damage coming in. We'll block 2. And then take 2 more, 1 each, down to 9. Then we'll get another encounter card. First one is a counter spell. Attach to your hero, force interrupt. When you play an event, cancel its effects and discard it. Then discard this card. And the next one, when revealed, discard a card from your hand with the highest cost. Take damage equal to the printed cost of that card. Thought casting, not cool. We'll play Protective Ward. So instead of losing that, taking 3 damage, we're going to lose that plus another card to not take 3 damage. Actually, no, because... all right. So we're going to discard that and take 3 damage. So back to our turn. To deal with that, we are going to play Master of the Mystic Arts, paying 1. And the effect gets canceled. When you play an event, cancel its effect and discard it, then discard this card. Then we will ready. Tiger will swing to take care of the Magic Blast, heal, and take a damage. Let's see what I want to do here. We're going to play this event, using that to pay for 1. And Relentless Assault for the second. Stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Down to 2. Next, we've got the Vapors. Choose a status card in play and we can change it. We're going to go ahead and flip over. And get rid of that. Next card is the 7 Rings. Then use the Sanctum to put a spell from our discard pile onto your deck and draw a card. We'll take Astral Projection. And we get Master of the Mystic Arts. All right, I could spin those 2 to put this in play, but I really want these 2. So I'm going to do something I shouldn't do and hold on to 3 cards. And ready. I'm drawing 3 more. All right, there's some resources I don't mind getting rid of. We're going to place a threat on here. Then we have the option of either adding 2 more threat or putting the top card up here as a minion. We're just going to go with a total of 3. Ultron will scheme for 3. And this guy will make it another 4. So we're up to 7. And we get an encounter card. Ultron's Imperative. First player puts the top 2 cards of their deck into play face down, engage with them as a drone minion. And that gets 2. I'm going to heal for 5. Taking it to 11. Let's see, what do we got there? So our scheme is coming up next. Go ahead and use his ability to get rid of that. So we can confuse the villain. Then we're going to put a spell into our deck and shuffle and draw a card. Getting strength. Then we will flip over. We're going to use Master of the Mystic Arts, using that as a resource to use the images, using this as a resource to confuse the villain and remove 4 threat from a scheme. Then we'll bring in the Quinn Carrier. Play only if our identity has the Avenger trait. Using those 3, We are an Avenger Mystic. So as a resource, we can exhaust this to create a wild resource. Then we were ready. Thwart for 2. Well, do we want to? Hold on a second. Well, we'll see how bad this goes. I'm going to use Tigra to attack into him for 2, taking him down to 0. She'll take a damage. Got a Schema 2, attack of 4, comes in with 27 health. Each drone minion gets +1 attack, +1 hit point. Ultron cannot take damage while a drone minion is in play. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Ultron's imperative side scheme, reveal it, and shuffle the encounter deck. Well, we can look through it. We're not going to find it. It's already in play. Now we'll use Doctor Strange to thwart for 2. Then we're going to bring in the Sorcerer Supreme, using this to pay for 1 and the Quinn for the other. That'll give us +1 hand size in hero form. And end our turn, we're going to keep this, drawing up to 6, so 5 more cards. Getting Energy, Astral Projection, Wong, Power of Aggression, and Genius. And then ready. So we're going to put 3 on that. Ultron will attack, but he's stunned. And all these guys are fine. So 2, 4, and 6. I think we're just going to take it. Going down to 5. Then our encounter card, attached to the villain. He's going to gain Retaliate. It's a hero action. Exhaust your hero, spending 2 energy resources to discard that card. Not what we wanted to see. So we're going to go ahead and deal with that. Exhausting your hero, spending those 2 resources to get rid of the concussion blasters. Then we were ready Doctor Strange. Tigra is going to attack into one of these, getting Mockingbird back. She'll heal and take a damage. We'll then do some Astral Projection, using these to pay for it. Choose a scheme, remove 3 threat from that scheme, and look at the top card of the encounter deck. For each boost icon on that card, remove 1 additional threat from the chosen scheme. So 3 goes away, along with 2 more. And we get to see, this is going to be our next encounter card coming up. Ultron Schemes, discard the top card of your deck for each threat placed this way. We're down to 1 over there. Next, we're going to put Wong into play for those 3. It's an action. We can choose to either heal 1 damage from your identity or discard the top card of the invocation deck. And he's going to come in and heal for 1. Then Strange is going to flip over and heal for 5, taking him to 11. Then we'll use this to put a spell from a discard pile into her deck. Might be time for some damage. But I guess we'll settle for an Astral Projection. To end our turn, drawing up to 6, so 5 more cards. Relentless Assault, Melee, Magical Enhancements, Melee again, and Mystical Studies. Ready our cards. We're going to place 3 threat for the Assault. Tron goes to Scheme, but he's confused. These guys aren't, so they're going to add 2 more, taking it up to 6. And Ultron schemes again. We're just going to go ahead and cancel that using the protective ward along with their magical enhancements. So when a treachery is revealed from the counter deck, cancel all of its effects and discard it. Then we'll do our action here. We'll just put the protective ward back in here and shuffle. Drawing one, getting a magic blast. Go ahead and flip over. We will do our ability using a melee to pay for this, confusing the villain and removing 4 threat from a scheme. So from 6 to 2. And shuffle. And we are going to get Crimson Bands. So we will ready. Use Tigra to take out one of these guys, healing and taking a damage. We'll use Relentless Assault. So it's gaining overkill. This guy's got 2, so that soaks up 2. Then 3 breaks through, so down to 24. Then we'll use Doctor Strange and these 2 resources to break this off, to stun an enemy and deal 7 damage to it. Down to 17. Next card is confusing the villain and removing 4 threat from a scheme. And I think we're past that. So we're going to exhaust Wong and discard the top card of the invocation deck. So now we can give 3 characters a tough status. Ending our turn. Drawing up to 6. We'll keep the blast to 5 more cards. Helicarrier, melee, 2 enhanced physiques, and Nick Fury. So take this up to 5, adding 3. Goes to attack. Get rid of stunned. Counter card. Get a repair sequence. When revealed, Ultron heals 2 damage for each drone minion engaged with you. If no damage was healed, this card gains Surge. Now the villain's going to scheme, so she's confused. So we made it through that all right. So we are going to start with Doctor Strange using his ability. We will, let's see, what are we going to use to pay for that? Use melee to pay for that. So we can give up to 3 characters each a tough status card. So Strange, Tigra, and Wong are all tough. The next card is where we draw a bunch of stuff. We will ready Doctor Strange. We'll bring in Nick Fury in with these 3 on the Quinn Carrier. And when he comes into play, we're going to have him draw 3 cards. And swing for 2 damage. Down to 15. We'll use Strange for his ability to draw 3 cards. Getting 1. Gets us an encounter card and we'll shuffle. Two and 3. And the next card is changing a status card in play, which Wong is not a fan of. So we'll discard that and shuffle. getting the 7 rings, which helps people get tough. Tigra will swing for 2 on Ultron, taking him down to 13. And that gets rid of our tough status. And Nick Fury does have a damage on him. All right, then we'll do an astral projection with these 2 resources. Choose a side scheme, remove 3 from it. Then we can look at that and remove 1 more from it. So we know what's coming up. Then we're going to play a Magic Blast using those 3. So hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy, taking him down to 8. Discard the top card of your deck, and that's going to deal 2 damage to an enemy, taking him down to 6. And we'll end our turn, drawing 6. Getting Hulk, get over here, magical enhancements, a helicarrier, melee, and power of aggression. Place 3 threat up here. Ultron's going to attack. Wong's going to jump in the way. So, base 4, 5 damage. He's no longer tough. We'll get another encounter card. First one, Surge, and when revealed, exhaust your identity. So we are exhausted and getting another card. When revealed, each player puts the top card of their deck into play face down, engage with them as a drone minion. And then, Android Efficiency. Each player puts the top card of their deck in play as a minion. And Nick Fury flies away. So Tiger is going to swing for 2 to get rid of one of these. Healing and then taking a damage. Then we're going to bring the Hulk in on a helicarrier using those 2 resources and have him swing for 3 to take care of that one. Then discard a card, and that is going to do 2 damage to an enemy, 1 damage to everybody, and then discard the Hulk. So 2 damage down to 4, then 1 more. Gets rid of Tough here. Puts a 3rd damage on Tigra. 1 damage on Wong. And then he's got 2 on him. Then we'll just play melee. So this counts for 2. We'll use the Quinn Carrier. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, then deal 3 damage to another enemy. But 3 is all it takes. So Doctor Strange is able to take on Ultron with the help of a few friends and magical artifacts. All right, for a deck construction for Doctor Strange, of course, we've seen all of his invocation deck. So drawing cards, 7 damage and stunning, confusing the villain and removing 4 threat, giving 3 characters a tough status card, and then changing the status of a card in play. And our 15 base cards, we've got something to ready ourselves, resource, playing our invocation cards at an increased cost, Magic Blasts, Protective Ward ×2, Astral Projection for dealing with threat, Magical Enhancements, Sanctum Sanctorum, Wong, and Mystical Studies. For aggression, 2 power of aggressions. We've got Tigra, and she's mainly put in there because it's Ultron. Then Hercules, same reason, getting him in for cheaper cost. Valkyrie in the Hulk. Get over here just because of the drones. Then Melee to help out with drones. Relentless Assault to help out with drones. Then our basic cards are 3 resources. Sorcerer Supreme, giving us +1 hand size to our hero form. 3 enhanced physique to help us kick off our aggression ability on Relentless Assault. Helicarrier, Quinn Carrier, Mockingbird, Nick Fury, and then Endurance and Downtime. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.